Well, meanwhile, President Trump has said the rapid rise of a Chinese company called DeepSeek should be a wake-up call for the American tech industry. DeepSeek is an artificial intelligence company and has produced a chatbot, which many experts now are comparing to ChatGPT. Well, let's talk to one of those experts with me now, our own tech editor, Peter O'Brien. So, Peter, what's your analysis on all of this? Is this a fad, or is this a real shift in the sort of power dynamics of AI?
Well, I'm not sure I'd go so far as to describe myself as an AI expert by any means. I think we can see the uptick in user numbers definitely as a kind of snowball effect, because DeepSeek only released its website start of last week, and we started to see really lots and lots of people start using it. But actually, its AI models that the chatbot is based on have been around and available to developers and anyone who actually can deploy the code. Since early last year, we had their V2, and then we got their V3. And within the AI community, they have been causing a massive stir even before this latest kind of week of public availability. But in terms of whether it's a fad or not, I think there are serious ramifications for the global AI industry, because they've made something that's so powerful but in such an efficient way. That's where the innovation comes. It's not the best model overall by far. ChatGPT still has that throne, but it's certainly the most efficient in terms of the way it computes your requests when you type into it, and how little compute power it uses for those, and the way it was trained on very slim resources. We can say that it's an absolute game changer for those reasons.
Okay, it's efficient. Another thing that's interesting about it is that DeepSeek is free.
Yeah.
Why have they made it free?
Well, generally in tech, you start when you're an unknown company, you tend to release something for free first. That's just a general rule to get more people picking it up and starting to use it. However, there is another thing at play here. We know that it's backed by a hedge fund, so they've got money there. And from the scarce interviews that we've seen with the CEO from Chinese media in the last sort of year or so, there seems to be definitely, he points towards a cultural shift within DeepSeek, the company, wanting to go towards something like AGI and wanting to be one of the first that's actually going to lead on the innovation rather than simply follow in the footsteps of the Americans. He talks specifically about this. AGI is what the tech world is predicting will be the next big wave of artificial intelligence, which will be AI that's essentially better than humans at most tasks that require reasoning.
And look, is this really bad news for big tech? Because according to what's happening on the stock markets today, it doesn't look like good news at all.
I think you could look at all of the red numbers in the last few days and think, oh no, this is really bad news. But if you look today, a lot of this has been recuperated. And even for a company like Google that could have been threatened by this, who's already not doing too well in the AI race, comparatively speaking, they've actually recuperated their value on the stock market, a lot of these companies, the big American tech companies. Why is that? Well, I think the markets, having initially panicked, have now realized that they're going to benefit as well from cheaper, more easy to deploy AI. And because DeepSeek is open weight and open source, it does mean that anyone can pick up on this technology. Even Microsoft, who's provided a lot of financial backing to OpenAI, is now back in the green after this blip. I think the one loser from this is OpenAI itself, because they have been leading the pack. And the problem is with leading the pack in something like this, everyone is just hanging on your coattails and waiting to see what you release next, so they can train their own models on what you're producing. And you can still do that with a closed source model like OpenAI's. It doesn't need to be open source to find ways to do that. So we've got a kind of, no one wants to go first. That's maybe why OpenAI has been more slowly releasing than their kind of investors hope they would be. And this just fires the next starting gun and will trigger presumably a lot of these companies to learn a lot from these efficiency lessons.
All right, really interesting. Thanks very much, Peter O'Brien, our tech editor, for us there.